Thank you for tuning into our podcast. We are coming to you from Holyoke, Massachusetts. I am your host, Carrie, and joining me is Holyoke's very own local historian and creator of the historical tours of Greater Holyoke, Robert Kumil. He offers both public and private tours, as well as presentations of the local canal systems, reservoirs, cemeteries, and churches, as well as various parks and streets in Holyoke, South Hadley, and Chicopee, Mass. Now you actually lead these tours and give these presentations yourself, is that correct?
Yes, and this is a prominent mill on the third level canal. So if you have a photo, you can surround it with a wooden frame, a metal frame. You can also surround it with a cardboard frame, the kind that has a simple um, tea holder, and you put it on your tabletop, and it's cardboard around it. You can be as simple as you want or as complex as you want. You can have the kind of frames you put 12 family pictures inside of at different angles. And they made all these items. And why in Holyoke? Because there was lots of paper being made. There was a lot of photographers around. They were right on the train tracks. And so what we're talking about is, along the way, where it was located exactly, and how the production was done at this mill, and what was the history of the Springfield photo mount. But what they made, you got to remember that they can make anything to do with mountain photos, including books. So if you have a photo album, and the photo albums could be made with paper, black paper was very popular with these, and they could also make the little trim pieces that hold the four corners of it, and they did. And you could also make photo albums which had a sticky back and have the front vinyl come down on it. You can make photo albums made out of entirely framed pictures inside of a book, right? Anything you can think of, if you had photos, they could mount them for you. And they were all over the place. Why Holyoke? For another reason is because National Blank Book was there, Eureka Blank Book was there. Similar companies which were books but which had information. This was a book that had photos that I was holding. So they thought of it in the same vein. And Holyoke had all the labor, it had all the paper, right? Other things that they made were scrapbooks. Think of not necessarily photographs, but maybe photographs, but also things like tickets you had from a certain venue that you wanted to save for the future, and little ribbons that you had. Think of address books, right? So they made things like that. Books that were fancy, that would hold beyond the photo, but address were people's. They made puppetries, which are cardboard-based storage units where you could put paper inside of each one, but you could also put photographs into certain puppetries, right? And think of calendars. Again, a photo mounted onto another bit of a book-like item, a calendar. That's what they made. They made things that would hold these beautiful albums in place, right? So people always ask me, what could they possibly make? But all these things you think of, that you could have photographs or other mementos inside of, they would make.
So where was this company located?
Okay, so obviously the other place in Springfield that they were located, but we're going to talk mostly about the Holyoke location. The Springfield location was on 3 Post Office Square in Springfield. That was a long time ago, and they maintained that place, but that was not really their production unit. Their real production happened in Holyoke, and okay, and what they did at this location was important, and I'll talk about its production next. But where it was located was on the end of the third level canal, where it's about to hit the south eastern end of the second level canal. They're right on the railroad that was ready to go over to the Willimantic section of the Connecticut River, and they were a little bit to the north of that. And the mill is still there. That mill that is still there on the left side of North Canal Street as you go up and turn the north, still has the title of the company, Springfield Photomont, on it. And that building was made approximately around late 19 teens, early 1920s or so. So it's a little over 100 years old now. And the location was prime because they can get these paper from the mills of Holyoke. They can get either metal or wood from the metal forgers in Holyoke or the lumber yards in Holyoke. They can get the book of paper or whatever they're making the books out of from many of the book mills in Holyoke, including the Albion and the Crocker. They can get different colors very easily from all the dye companies there. And all they need was a place to produce what they were doing, which is the finished product, not the bulk paper. And they did that in plenty. This is an enormous mill. I think it's 4 floors high, and it's very big. And so they set them up really nicely. So when I talk about production history, we'll go into
just to fill our listeners in. If you want to find out more information or sign up for any of his various tours, you can check out his website at holyokecanaltour.org. And there he has both videos of the various stops along each tour and also past and present photos of the historical sites throughout as well. And if you are interested in setting up a private tour, you can email him directly at bobcat4214, capital B, at yahoo.com. And they are perfect for fun, educational, outdoor activities for the whole family or for your group parties, especially those special occasions and get-togethers. And they are also good just for getting outdoors for the day.
Okay, now if you remember, this is not truly a production mill in the sense that you would take the absolute raw product and do something with it, like a lot of the paper mills were. So this is not truly a paper mill, but what it was a company that took that paper and then made products out of it. And so production happened by what they were making. They were on different floors. So it wasn't mass production in the sense that, oh, this floor is doing this bit of the long production. It was more in the sense that, oh, in this section of this floor, we're going to make calendars. In this section of this floor, we're going to make address books. In this section of this next floor down here, we'll make a photo album for people. In this floor, we're going to make frames. It's more like that. So it's not mass production throughout the whole mill of one finished item, but rather sectioned out. So in this section, we'll do this. It very much like National Blank Book was and Eureka Blank Book was. And they were all right in a line. If you put a line, you can go from west to east through Eureka, through Springfield Photo Mount, and through National Blank Book's 2 mills. That kind of tells you what they're up to.
And what is the history of Springfield Photo Mount?
Okay, from the 19 teens until 1941, they were at a location on Main Street, 686 Main Street. This is south the middle part of Main Street, in a smaller mill, but they grew and grew. And then they ever from 1940s, they moved to this location on North Canal Street, 475, the big one that's still there. They took over the location from the Pratt and Austin Company. And the families that took them over were 2 families, the Shane family and the Dorabomb family. When the Dorabomb family took them over, that was a woman that was head of the company, the president of the company. All right, so their history in Holyoke has been actually over 110 years at this point. Now, they're not around anymore. The mill is still there, so the mill's been abandoned as of the 1990s. And I wish someone moved in there. When my wish came true, what moved in there was, I think, on the ground floor only, there's some marijuana production taking place. So it's still a prime location, and it's very noticeable because when you start going over the railroad tracks and you slow down your car, this is the mill that appears right in front of you. Okay, so thank you for listening to this podcast.
And thank you, Robert, for educating us on your tours. And you can also tune into a large selection of our other podcasts and much more at his website. Again, that's holyokecanaltour.org. And again, you can email him directly for private tours or to inquire about anything else at bobcat4214, capital B, at yahoo.com. And be sure to keep an eye out for his upcoming 2024 season tour.